we got basic tests that we run with all concrete. One of them is a slump test. Slump test measures the consistency of the concrete. So we've got this cone that we'll fill in 3 lifts, and we'll pull it up in 5 seconds, and the concrete will slump down, and then we measure how far it slumps down, and that'll tell us basically how wet it is. We also have a test that we run in this bucket. It's going to be a unit weight test. We check how much the concrete weighs. There's a design for each mix. So this mix might weigh 3,900 pounds, for example. We check it in this bucket. We can convert it out to see what it weighs per cubic foot and back into cubic yard to see how close we are in our yield. We also run an air content test in this. It tells us how much air is in the concrete. We put a liquid in the concrete to help entrain air bubbles to help in the wintertime for freeze thaw. In the wintertime we get rain and it freezes. If it gets into the concrete and there's no place for the water to expand, the concrete will crack and break up and start deteriorating. So that's why we put air in it. In this area of the country, 3 to 6% is average. If we go up north, we might be 5 to 8%. Because you have a lot more freeze-thaw action up there. In addition, I'll check the temperature of the concrete. So we want to know what the temperature of it is. Somewhere I got a thermometer. But beforehand, every time I get a sample in the wheelbarrow, it'll segregate some. So we've got more rock in the back and more paste in the front. We need to make sure we mix it. That way it's consistent. I'm going to have my back to you for a minute. But with the slump test, we've got a certain amount of time. We have to really run this test in 2.5 minutes. We fill it in 3 equal lifts by volume, and each lift we rod 25 times just to make sure that it gets consolidated in the cone. And now I'm going to pull it in 5 seconds. We measure to the center, and that's a 5-inch slump. So that's how you, when somebody says what a slump is, that's how you'll check it. Let me move this out of the way. With the air test, we're going to do it basically the same way. We're going to fill it in 3 equal lifts. Rod each lift 25 times. Except with this test, we also have to hit it with a mallet. The reason we're doing that is this rod in this apparatus, it leaves little holes. So we tap it with a mallet to consolidate those holes. And the reason we do it in 3 equal lifts and 25 rods is because that was what was established by American Society of Testing Materials, that we should run. That way everybody in the whole country does it the exact same way. What I'll do when I get them in, I'll take that weight and I'll subtract out the weight of the bucket and divide it by the volume, and that'll tell me how much it weighs for 1 cubic foot. Right now what I'm doing, I'm just making sure that there's no air in it. From the top of the concrete to the bottom of this top, there's a little air gap, so we fill it with water. Otherwise, if we didn't, we get a inaccurate air reading.
Pressurizing?
Yes. This one's 3.2 on the air.
That's the percentage of air.
Percentage of air by volume. Last, what we do is we'll make cylinders. These are compressive strength cylinders we make. They make different sizes. This is a 4-inch diameter, 8-inch tall. This is standard everybody uses now. It used to be, in the past, everybody used 6x12 cylinders, but they're so heavy and hard to work with that most people have switched to the 4x8s now. With these 4x8s, we fill these in 2 lifts. The 6x12s were done in 3 lifts. We can use this for most standard concrete. If we get some of the commercial mixes that we might do that has large stone, then we can't use these cylinders. We can only use them at 3 times the diameter of the aggregate. So if we've got 1.5 inch stone, we couldn't use these anymore. We can only use them for 1 inch maximum stone. Yeah, on commercial jobs, a lot of times we do large paving or large slabs. It blends the size, so it makes it a denser mix, but also helps with flex. So when you got forklifts or large trucks driving constantly on it, you want that concrete to flex instead of breaking.